David, I'm trying to understand like what this weapon was. I was reading the reports. Was it basically like a bunch of pens with a rubber band around, almost trying to make like a knife?
Yeah, so it appears that this is some sort of homemade weapon that's a group of pens together with those rubber bands. Obviously, we don't know how this was able to be made, right? Was it made before this person went to the airport in Seattle? Was it made on the plane? The report that we found yesterday seems to indicate that this person was fidgety sitting in their seat, so he might have been doing something while in flight. You see an image of the pens there. But as we know, a lot of these things that you can bring on planes can end up being quite violent, can be used in violence when they're put together like you see there.
I think one of the scary things about this is, like, you think about when you're on a plane, you're stuck there. I mean, there's really nowhere to go. What do witnesses say? Like, how did all this go down?
So from what we can understand from the court documents filed against this gentleman, that he was sort of fidgety in his seat. Like I mentioned, he got up to go to the bathroom like many people do on planes. He came back to his seat and then all of a sudden stabbed the person sitting on the aisle. And when that was happening, the victim's wife and their son were presumably sitting right next to them. The victim's wife was trying to shield their 7-year-old son while he's getting stabbed. And as you see in those photos, he was stabbed right in the eye. The gentleman who prosecutors say is responsible for this, allegedly saying, according to witnesses, that he wanted to kill this person, that this was quite a violent attack. And then the good news is there was someone on board, law enforcement. I don't know if it was an actual air marshal, right? We haven't heard that term in a while, but they do exist. Was able to help get this guy into custody. They strapped him to the seat. There were about 25 minutes left in the flight here into Vegas, and he was arrested when they landed.
Yeah, they've got the zip ties on the plane. And like you said, I mean, I've seen before where they'll just duct tape someone to the seat that acts out like this. Did he say anything? I mean, did he know this victim? Like, do we know the why in terms of why this happened?
So from reading what he told the FBI is there appears to be some sort of mental illness possibly with this case. He said that he wanted to specifically speak with the FBI. He also said that he attempted to kill this gentleman who you see there, who could have been any of us, right? He was just another passenger. And that he felt that the mafia was after him. I don't know particularly why he chose this person, allegedly, according to these court documents, but he said he did it for those reasons, and now he's in federal custody.
Yeah, it's freaky. You never know who you're sitting near on a plane. And you mentioned the FBI. I mean, when something like this happens in the air, it's a federal crime. So what happens next? I mean, I'm assuming this guy's going to be in federal court.
Right. So he was in federal court yesterday as the grand jury handed down this indictment. It's important to mention that he is detained right now pending trial. But Brian, this is the same court where we had the alleged FBI informant involving this whole Hunter Biden, President Joe Biden stuff. It is the same court. The judge in that case let that guy go. In this case, this gentleman is going to have to be detained pending his trial, and he's due in court in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. I mean, if he's just attacking random people on a plane and saying this crazy stuff about the mafia, definitely would be a threat to the public. As far as it being on Alaska Airlines, I mean, they've had a rough go the last month or so. You know, when you had the door fly out, and now this happening on the plane. I mean, have they? I guess there's not much they could have done to prevent this, but have they reacted at all?
Yeah, no, I mean, usually the airlines don't say anything. The statements we usually get are the plane landed safely and you need to contact enforcement. You know, the incident itself happened at the end of January, and we only learned about it through this indictment. So my guess is they didn't really want anyone to know, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, hopefully the victim's okay. I mean, the picture is pretty alarming. You've been busy down there in Vegas. There's been a lot of big stories. David Charnes, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. We appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.